Welcome back to Character Conversions, where I try to bring fictional characters to life in D&D. Today we build King of the Fairies and the Grizzly son of Sloth, Harlequin King. For stats, we'll be using the standard array of the player's handbook, divided up as you see here. Our Charisma is our primary stat, as is what our magic will be tied to. Strength is of course our dump stat, though we are still stronger than a cat. Our dexterity is actually lower than a cat, so maybe that's how that cat beat us. For race, there is no beating around the bush, we're obviously a fairy. This will increase our wisdom by +2 and our charisma by +1, raising them both to a 16. We are a Fey type, small size, and have a speed of 30 feet. Fairy magic gives us the Druidcraft cantrip. At 3rd level, we will gain Fairy Fire and Enlarge/Reduce at 5th level. We have a flying speed equal to our walking speed, and finally, we speak Common and Sylvan. For our background, because we are King of the Fairies, we'll be going with Noble. This gives us proficiency with the History and Persuasion skills. We gain 1 gaming set of our choice. We can speak Giant. For our feature, we gain Position of Privilege. With this, we will always be welcome in high society wherever we are, and the common folk will do their best to accommodate us. After all, who wouldn't want to be able to say they hosted the King of the Fairies? For our class, we'll be starting out in Warlock. This gives us a D8 hit die, proficiency with Wisdom and Charisma saves, and for skills, we'll pick up Arcana and Nature. As a 1st level Warlock, given that the major source of our power comes from our weapon, our patron will be the Hexblade. This gives us Hexblade's Curse, Hex Warrior, and Pact Magic. Hexblade's Curse is our representation of King's Disaster ability with the ability to crit on a 19. Some hits are worse than they would be normally. Hex Warrior will allow us to use our Charisma modifier instead of our Strength or Dex, meaning we can fight despite our frail form, just flavored as the weapon levitating around us in our space. For Pact Magic, we gain 2 cantrips and 2 1st level spells. Cantrips will be Eldritch Blast and Sword Burst. Eldritch Blast for sending Chastafol out at long range, and Sword Burst for if we get surrounded. Our 1st level spells will be Hex and Shield. Hex can increase our damage and work as an additional disaster ability, with Shield being a fine stand-in for Chastafol's pillow form blocking attacks. As a 2nd level Warlock, we gain Eldritch Invocations and another 1st level spell. For Invocations, we'll grab Agonizing Blast and Eldritch Spear. Now we can add our Charisma modifier to our Eldritch Blast and fire it at a range of 300 feet. For our 1st level spell, we'll grab Armor of Agathis, which other than maybe Mage Armor, is all I can think of to represent Form 6 Yggdra Cloth. As a 3rd level Warlock, we choose our Pact, and we will be going with Pact of the Blade, now allowing us to conjure Chastafol as a variety of weapons. We also gain our first 2nd level spell this level, of which we'll be choosing Cloud of Daggers, a good representation of Form 5 Increase. As a 4th level Warlock, we gain our first ability score improvement. We'll drop this into our Charisma, raising it to an 18. Next, we gain an additional cantrip and another 2nd level spell. We'll grab Mirror Image just for some added defense. As for the cantrip, pick whatever you'd like. At 5th level, now that we have some decent representation of our bond with Chastafol, we'll work on our magic ability. For that, we'll multiclass over to Sorcerer. For our Sorcerer's origin, we'll be going Divine Soul from Xanathar's, but the 14th level ability is basically a dead level because we can already fly. So instead for my build, I'm going to take Favored Soul Revisited from Unearthed Arcana 28, basically the prototype Divine Soul. This gives us a d6 hit die, Supernatural Resilience, Favored by the Gods, 4 cantrips, and 2 1st level spells. Supernatural Resilience gives us an additional hit point for each sorcerer level. Good thing, since King does take quite a few beatings. And Favored by the Gods will allow us to add 2d4 to a saving throw we fail, or an attack roll we miss, possibly turning a failure into a success. We can do this once each long rest. For our cantrips, we'll grab Booming Blade, Dancing Lights, Gust, and Light. Dancing Lights and Lights are how we will be representing Form 7 Luminosity. For our spells this level, we'll be taking Mage Armor and Magic Missile. Mage Armor for Yggdra Cloth, and Magic Missile for Increase. As a 2nd level Sorcerer, we gain our Font of Magic and another 1st level spell. Font of Magic gives us a pool of sorcery points equal to our level that we can convert into spell slots, and vice versa. For our spell this level, we will grab Cure Wounds. This will be for Form 8 Pollen Garden. 7th level and our 3rd level in Sorcerer means we gain Meta Magic and a 2nd level spell. For our Meta Magic options, we'll grab Distance Spell and Quicken Spell. Distance Spell combined with Eldritch Spear is about as close as we will get to fighting with Chastafol from miles away. And Quicken Spell on Eldritch Blast is a good representation of Bumblebee. For a 2nd level spell this level, we'll pick up Spiritual Weapon. With this, we can represent fighting with our spear from afar with a basic Form 1 Chastafol. 8th level is our next ability score improvement. We'll be dropping into our Charisma again, capping it off at 20. Next, we gain another cantrip and another 2nd level spell. Our cantrip will be Shape Water, and our spell will be Wither and Bloom. 5th level in Sorcerer grants us our first 3rd level spell. We'll be taking Counterspell to represent how King uses Chastiful to negate magical effects of his enemies. As a 6th level Favored Soul revisited, we gain Blessed Countenance and another 3rd level spell. Blessed Countenance allows us to undergo a minor physical transformation, allowing us to appear beautiful, youthful, kind, or imposing. Whatever we choose, we double our proficiency bonus for charisma checks. For a 3rd level spell, we will grab Mass Healing Word. 11th level and our 7th level in Sorcerer means we gain our first 4th level spells. We'll pick up Guardian of Faith, obviously to represent Form 2, Guardian. 12th level will be our next ability score improvement. We'll drop this into our Dexterity now, raising it to a 14. Next we gain an additional 4th level spell, of which we'll take Dimension Door for some more anime level speed. 13th level and our 9th level in Sorcerer is our first 5th level spell. We're going to take Animate Objects. If you carry around enough daggers, this is an alternative method to perform Form 5 increase. At 14th level, we gain an additional meta magic option, 1 cantrip, and a 5th level spell. Choose whatever meta magic option you like. I'll grab Heightened Spell for my build. Probably was used on Bond when we wanted to petrify him. Cantrip is also equally as open. I'll grab Decompose. This is actually a homebrew cantrip from Critical Role, which does what it says and rapidly decomposes remains. I think of it as a useful cantrip for tending to the Forest of the Fairy King. For a 5th level spell this level, we'll be picking up Telekinesis. 11th level in Sorcerer is our first 6th level spell. We'll be taking Flesh to Stone, representing Form 3, Fossilization. 16th level is our next ability score improvement. We'll drop this into our Dexterity again, raising it to a 16. 17th level and our 13th level in Sorcerer grants us our first 7th level spell. We'll be picking up Sunbeam, a 6th level Cleric spell. This will represent Form 4, Sunflower. As a 14th level Favored Soul revisited, we gain Divine Purity. This makes us immune to disease, poison damage, and the poison condition. 19th level and our 15th level in Sorcerer is our first 8th level spell. We'll be taking Sunburst, again representing Form 4, Sunflower. 20th level, the capstone of our build, is our final ability score improvement. We'll trade this for the Resilient feat, increasing our Constitution to a 14 and gaining proficiency with Constitution saves. End result sees us with an average of 97 hit points. We fight from range for a reason. An AC of 16 with Mage Armor. Eldritch Blast representing Chastiful at range, we will average 9 damage a hit, 38 a round. 76 if we quicken to use Bumblebee. Hexblade's Curse and Hex will further increase our damage to well over 100 in a single round. Like was said early on in the anime, magically we are the strongest of the Sins. I am rather glad we have a decent representation for each of Chastiful's forms, though Pollen Garden needed something similar to Leoman's tiny hut to really reflect how it protects you, but I think 8.5 out of 9 is decent for an anime to D&D conversion. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment your opinions or suggestions for new builds. Please subscribe to the page, check out Patreon for the character sheets, and maybe consider sliding me $1. My goal is maybe 100 $1 patrons by the end of the year. I hope all your 20s are natural. See you next time.